I just found out Harry Sisson is not gay. That is the craziest thing I have ever heard in my life. So, is he a womanizer or was it all a ruse? Let's get to the bottom of this. This just in, he's not gay. All this time thought he was gay. Why'd you do them women that way? Were you trying to prove that you ain't gay? And if you ain't gay, are you bi? Tell the truth, don't lie. I need to know, am I your type? Harry Sisson, be my wife. But for real, is he gay? 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 He's not gay, he just fakes it for the views. Every woman that he's hurt, he didn't mean to. It was all a part of his scheme to make us think he wasn't gay. I can't believe I just found out he's not gay. All this time thought he was gay. Why'd you do them women that way? Were you trying to prove that you ain't gay? But for real, is he gay? 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 All I know is Harry Sisson is not gay. He can't be gay, I know he's not gay. He can't be gay, I know he's not gay. He can't be gay, I know he's not gay. Yeah. He's not gay, he just fakes it for the views. Every woman that he's hurt, he didn't mean to. It was all a part of his scheme to make us think he wasn't gay. I can't believe I just found out he's not gay. He's not gay, he just fakes it for the views. Every woman that he's hurt, he didn't mean to. It was all a part of his scheme to make us think he wasn't gay. I can't believe I just found out he's not gay. All this time thought he was gay. Why'd you do them women that way? Were you trying to prove that you ain't gay? And if you ain't gay, are you bi? Tell the truth or lie. I need to know, am I your type? Harry Sisson, be my wife. But for real, is he gay? 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 He's not gay, he just fakes it for the views. Every woman that he's hurt, he didn't mean to. It was all a part of his scheme to make us think he wasn't gay. I can't believe I just found out he's not gay. All this time thought he was gay. Why'd you do them women that way? Were you trying to prove that you ain't gay? All I know is Harry Sisson is not gay. He can't be gay, I know he's not gay. He can't be gay, I know he's not gay. He can't be gay, I know he's not gay. But for real, is he gay? For real, is he gay? For real, is he gay? For real, is he gay?
This is a Dissident Media production. DissidentMedia.net.
In a world where everything sucks, two men have the balls to laugh at it. This is The System is Down.
Ladies and gentlemen, Harry Sisson is not gay. Breaking news. Donald Trump's dropping bombs on people because he's a neocon, actually secretly at heart. JFK Files are released. Jeremy Boering steps down the Daily Wire and so much more. Get over and go share it. No, don't share it. It doesn't matter anymore.
It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
Today's episode, ladies and gentlemen, is brought to you solely and exclusively, literally, by yourselves in the Downers Club. People like William Ogle, Sir Tur, Nathan Gall, Keen Over, Gilda Kate, John Winshower, Bob C. for Drugs for Robots, Adam Jacobs, Pangea, No Tread, Abrogate, Dees Maxwell, Kim Yippee Something, Justico, Denise, Joey, Perry, Adam, Donald, Matt, Osmataz, Danielle, Sean Luke Picard, Keith, SDG, Vanzot Media, Rick Duran, Javari, Craig DeCosta, Tim Brown, Howie Snowden, Nathan Sipes, Mary Rom, Justin Zelinsky, William Willis. I think that might be a new record. If you want to get your name on that list and have it read incorrectly someday, I'm just kidding. You already did. Because you're here in the Downers Club, where you're getting the exclusive live stream of The System is Down, and we are giving this a shot because we mostly want to just, like, there can be people commenting and we can ignore them on a regular basis, or you can come in here and you can comment and we can actually pay attention to you if you actually give a shit to do it. If you're just somebody who is a freeloader who strolls in off the street, you're not going to be able to do that anymore. So go join the Downers Club if you're listening to this in the future after it goes public. If you're one of the normies, go to patreon.com/The System Is Down. You'll get more weird, more raw, more offensive, more weekly content every single week, a live stream at the very least, plus a bunch more. So get over there, support the show, and be a good human being. I am not able to do any of this alone. Not just with you guys, though. You are supporters. You are great, gracious supporters who give me your money. I'm not able to do it without you, but I'm also not able to do it without the great, the one, the only, David Casey. Dave, how's it going, Dave?
Bro, good to be with you. For the first time, in a while at least, not live. I feel like this is a good...
Well, it is live. Don't mislead these people. We are live.
Excuse me. We are live.
Exclusive live.
But listen, we're exclusively live, but we're also excluding people, which I like.
That's what exclusive means, Dave.
In my libertarian society, I would exclude the shit out of people.
That's right.
So I'm pumped to do it, and the moral of the story is you get in there and you send Dan Smotz 5 smackers immediately so you can come be part of the live show.
Yes, the moral of the story is pay me money and you will get to watch the show live. And if not, you'll still get it just the same as always. You just won't be able to talk. You can talk. Comment. If you're watching this in the future, I might be at some of the premieres. I might slide into the comments and chat with you guys because I'm not a hater. I don't hate you for watching this for free. I just dislike you very much. I want you to still watch it, but I would rather you pay me so that I can actually like you. Now, we've got a lot to get into today, and a lot of very important things and a lot of very unimportant things, as we do every week. All right, kill the music. That's enough. Don't need a big dramatic outro there. Now, right off the bat, I do want to start with, it's been a while since we've covered anything other than politics, and it's probably because everything is politics, and I want to bring up a little bit of entertainment news, because it's been a bit. Unfortunately, the entertainment news always ends up tying back into politics, but, Dave, have you heard about the latest Disney release, the Disney live adaptation of Snow White?
I have heard of it, yes, and I saw a preview, and I saw that chick on Twitter today with a hairy back. Is that? I hope you're gonna hit her hairy back.
I mean, that wasn't really the story I was going for. There's been a few around this movie. The latest, I guess, is yes, there was a hairy back image. There was a picture of the main actress who had back hair that the internet took issue with. All right,
all right, no big deal.
Quite frankly, the least of the issues with this movie, and the least of the things that are going to tank it. But I probably when all this comes out, when the movie tanks and Disney doesn't reap the reward of this, what has been a disaster of a creation from the beginning, and we'll talk a bit about it, but they're probably going to end up, they probably drummed up this whole hairy back scandal in order to be able to, when it flops, look back on it and be like, it's because they were racist and because they were misogynist, because they didn't like her back hair or her skin color because she wasn't white. That's what they're going to say, because they always do. But there's been a few scandals around this live adaptation of Snow White, and it started with dwarves. It started with, like 9/10 of the characters in the original movie being problematic because they're called dwarves, which is a reference to midgets. That's the more appropriate word.
The M word, bro. I can't believe you just dropped a fucking hard M.
Yep. Maybe we'll do the edited version for not behind the paywall, and I'll edit out the hard M because I know how that can trigger them. It's a tiny trigger, but it does trigger them. Now, yeah, it was really only Peter Dinklage, it seemed like, who is the most famous dwarf, little person, midget, whatever you are, the most famous actor that suffers or deals with this other ability, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if I'd call him disabled because he's doing way better than me in life. But this dwarfism that he has, he took issue with dwarves and the entire story of Snow White from the get-go, and that was where the scandal started, because Peter Dinklage, the most successful little person in all of Hollywood, was like, well, this is just demeaning to little people. Or it could give like 9 people jobs that are probably really wanting to be actors like you are, and you just pulled the tiny ladder up behind you. There was that one, and then there was what's her face? Rachel Zegler, who's playing Snow White. She has had a whole bunch of comments like that Prince Charming is problematic. It's Prince Charming in this one, right?
I don't know if that's
Is that Sleeping Beauty?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The white dude, the prince who saves the damsel in
Sure.
distress in this was problematic because he would dare to kiss a sleeping woman without consent, and that's creepy. And that was a
Did the
thing.
star of the movie say that? Did she go
Yes.
out and say that publicly? Oh my god.
Yeah, she said it was creepy and weird. That was like 2 years ago. This has been going on for quite some time. There's just been endless like thing after thing after thing, mostly of well, also they when Peter Dinklage had the tiny complaints about dwarfs, they changed it to like her imaginary friends or something like that to try and make it more politically correct, and everybody complained because you're just completely changing 9/10 of the characters in the movie at that point. And so they changed it back to dwarves, and whatever, I guess that's fine now for some reason. But then it was like problematic and gross, misogynistic story. Like they made it clear. Rachel Zegler made it clear that she was not a fan of the property of Snow White, which is the tale as old as time of Disney as of late, especially with these adaptations and comic book movies and things that are based off of beloved characters. She had an issue with a whole lot of the character that she was hired to portray. There was also the issue of, if you're familiar with the classic tale of Snow White is white. Some people had issue with her not being white. Maybe there's some sort of explanation to the background of why she's called Snow White. I think she got trapped in a snowstorm. I'm not joking. I'm pretty sure they snuck that in there. But more importantly, the wicked witch or stepmother or whatever the fuck, the bad woman who's supposed to be trying to be as pretty and pure as Snow White is Gal Gadot, who is inarguably more attractive than Snow White. There's just been thing after thing. Anyway, all that to say, this has been quite a production debacle from start to now when it's about to come out. And now Disney's woke Snow White this is from dailymail.co.uk, so you know it's legit. Disney's woke Snow White is slapped with trigger warnings about a woman deliberately poisoned and a girl surrounded by ominous trees. A girl surrounded by ominous trees. So we're getting a trigger warning at the beginning of Snow White, as if it didn't have enough problems already, because people aren't familiar with Snow White and how she was poisoned. We need to warn them. Any thoughts, Dave?
Yeah, I mean the first part of that is weird enough, but the trees, that's just weird. I don't understand. But you've heard me say this on this show a bunch, bro. I detest ingratitude.
Oh,
So yeah. I already hate this actress who has, like, just been so blessed to be here in this patriarchy in this point in time and play this role that literally every single girl who's ever tried to be an actress would just like kill.
Yeah.
And be so honored, and you're just like, this is problematic. This motherfucker. Like, I don't know. It's just terrible. Systematic.
Little girls have
something's
dreamed
wrong.
for years of being Snow White in real life at Disneyland, or especially in a movie, a live adaptation of a movie. And the one person that actually gets it when they finally do that thing is like, I don't like it. I don't respect it. I don't appreciate it. And give me your money, and I'm going to blame you if this doesn't do well.
Terrible.
There's also a warning, apparently. I don't know where all of this is coming from, or who their source is, but it says that there's also a warning that characters drink alcohol briefly at a part. Has also been issued, and when it comes to violence, it is established a man is shot in the chest with an arrow. There is also brief sword fights, and a woman deliberately poisoned. Like, I'm not entirely
Spoiler alert.
sure I understand. Like, is this all coming at the beginning of the movie? Is it just like, just so you guys know, here's everything that happens in this movie in case any of it happens to trouble you a little bit. We want to let you know how it ends. It's going to be okay, unless you need to go to therapy after the live adaptation of Snow White and the 7 imaginary friends.
Yo, fuck Peter Dinklage too, because you're right. How many? 7 dwarves, 7 jobs for 7 little people.
And now they're replaced by CGI. Yeah. That's how that was resolved.
Dink, dink. Dink, 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 dink. Bro. Wizard of Oz, you ever heard of it? You know what I mean? Like, this is just stuff that, I don't know. We need to return to tradition.
Peter Dink Dink. All right. Now, speaking of, I don't know, dumb things, beautiful, beautiful women. Let's make that the transition. Dylan Mulvaney is next on the list because Dylan Mulvaney is back in the media because Dylan Mulvaney is putting out a new podcast called The Dylan Hour. And here's the promo for The Dylan Hour. Have you seen it yet, Dave?
No.
Perfect.
You're going to make me watch it, though, aren't you?
Perfect. You know I am.
In the shower, on a walk, the Dylan Hour. Feeling sweet, feeling sour. I feel nothing. The Dylan Hour.
Oh, my God.
Couch is open. It's better than therapy. All you
Just hear a gunshot from Dave's into the car.
Bro, terrifying.
Yes. Oh, there's one line in particular that caught me. I want to see if you catch it.
All you soccer moms, all your theys and thems, all your bottom boys, my bisexual femmes. Come one and all, disassociate with me. It's free. Grab a drink, or 2 or 3. You have no friends. All good, you got me. It's the Dylan Hour. Love ya.
Terrible. Just terrible.
Did you catch the line, Dave? I'm not going to expect you to because it was really snuck in there a little bit. Any idea what stuck out to me?
No, I don't know. What was it?
It's free. With me and all disassociate with me. It's
Disassociate with me? Is that the goal here? We're just disassociating. We're exiting our body. Like, we're not living in the real world. We're disassociating. There's something about the word disassociating being used by Dylan Mulvaney that, like, Dylan Mulvaney's podcast about how he is a girl, and come disassociate with me. You're whatever bottoms, your theys, thems, your this, that's, whatever. You're activists. I don't know exactly who the guests are going to be. Is it going to be like Elliot Page or whatever? Like, I don't know. Is it only going to be people from the LGBTQ community? I don't know. All I know is that I'm going to be watching this, and I'm going to be watching it every single fucking episode.
No.
And I'm going to report back to you, Dave.
My God. Listen, it's not a bad idea to, comb through Twitter and see what clips people are putting out, but don't subject yourself to that satanic poison. That's just absolute trash. And
even if it's not poison, even if you take it at face value, this is not like. Does Dylan Mulvaney seem to you like somebody trying to even act like a woman? Or does he seem like a gay dude acting like a gay dude, but in a dress while acting like a gay dude?
Yeah, but he is.
I don't know any woman who acts like Dylan Mulvaney.
But he is chemically, like, he's doing the procedures and stuff, right? Like, he is.
I don't know.
No, none of that.
I haven't heard that he's done that, but I don't know, and I've heard that it's very impolite to ask.
He looks like he's evolving, dude. And
into what?
I don't know. Something fucking, demonic. I don't know what it is, but that whole show gave me the creepiest vibes, and it's highly produced. So, like, yeah, he's got money behind him.
The face of a very normal heterosexual woman with nothing wrong with that brain right there.
Oh my God! It's like I'm actually scared. Like, that's nightmare fuel. And oh my God, it's bothering me.
There we go.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was the one that got me in the beginning. Holy shit.
I don't know, but I am intrigued to see where that goes because I'm sure it's going to be a hot mess and nothing controversial will come out of that at all, but we'll see. Speaking of gay, we gotta talk about our boy, Dave.
Oh, this beat.
This is my new favorite AI song of all time. If you weren't here for it, you missed out.
Can you believe it?
all this time, thought he was gay. Why'd you do them women that way? Were you trying to prove that you ain't gay?
All right. Anyway, so Harry Sisson, everybody's favorite commentator, Harry Sisson, has been convicted by many women, at least like 11, 12 or so women, of grossness. That is the best that I can come up with. Now, before we do this, I do need to preface that Harry Sisson and I have a history. Not in like I've ever spoken to him or he's ever spoken to me, but that he annoys the piss out of me to the extent that I bring him up a lot on the show. And so if I say anything positive about Harry Sisson in any way, shape, or form, or anything that you could mistake as like supporting Harry Sisson, it's only based on legality purposes, and if he disappeared tomorrow, it would make life better and worse both at the same time because we would lose out on a segment for our show. But Harry Sisson has been accused by some women of some salacious activities. As far as I can tell from digging into this all night last night, all night, way too long, way more time than I feel like admitting to digging into Harry Sisson last night, who is definitely not gay. 11 or so women have said that Harry Sisson was basically like schmoozing them up, like, oh, you're my girl, you're my one and only, we're in a relationship, and then come to find out that Harry Sisson was saying that to a lot of girls all at the same time. Harry Sisson is not only not gay, Dave, Harry Sisson is a playa. Who knew?
Crazy.
Who knew?
Crazy that rich fucking sellout 22-year-old is sitting on a pyramid of pussy. who that's just crazy. The thing is that he's a hypocrite because his persona that he portrays
Yes.
would not condone this behavior. So it is acceptable to talk about this. Though if we never talk about this fucking dude who is not a faggot, apparently.
Oh, we're bringing him up every week from now on, Dave.
Oh
Don't you
my
worry.
God, dude.
We're following this story just as close as Dylan Mulvaney's because they are just as riveting.
Wow.
Yes, it is worth a note that this is a dude who is like supported the entire woke feminist. He's a male feminist. Like women deserve whatever. They deserve all the world. And if a woman makes an accusation about a man, you trust the woman. Whatever. All of that mentality, all of the stuff that our society has been dealing with for the last, 10 years or so, Harry Sisson was there right along pushing it. So for him to get a little bit of taste of his own medicine, it's a little bit of a sweet thing. Now, there's been some accusations of, it sounded like one of the girls, we're not going to play him because who cares? I mean, really, who cares at all about this? But there's one of the girls that said, she kind of whispered underage grooming as though there was something there. I haven't really found anything that seems to point to underage grooming. If there was underage grooming, then that needs to be, addressed, investigated, probably arrested. If there was not, and this is just Harry Sisson being a womanizing scumbag who is a hypocrite, who has a bunch of women and pretends that he's a women's rights advocate, lies while lying to them and, boosting his career and street cred and all that, then he is, from my perspective, not any more guilty than Andrew Tate. They should start a podcast together because they have very similar personalities if you actually dig deep down under the surface. They're both womanizing scumbags and, people who weigh into politics with some of the stupidest of takes. And, I want to see the Harry Sisson Andrew Tate podcast. Dave, do you?
No, they're both awful people for some same and some different reasons.
Why do you hate everything good in this world, Dave? First Dylan Mulvaney, and now you're shooting down my dreams of this idea.
It's a terrible idea. And you know what? I don't think Andrew Tate would do it, and he probably wouldn't either because he's got a reputation. But so far, I've seen some of these, I saw that on Twitter today, these girls showing text messages and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So again, a little bit of schadenfreude, for this guy getting a little taste of his own medicine. But is he's just getting embarrassed for asking for titty shots and stuff like that and flirting with chick. Maybe he's hooked up with them in city to city as if that's not even it's just a little hypocritical because of his stupid fucking gay persona on Twitter
It's
that he gets
extremely
paid
hypocritical. Yes.
Look,
and I'm
but he gets
glad to
paid-
watch if
He's getting paid.
the stuff that he
He's
was
getting paid a lot.
preaching is what makes him go down, I will not shed a single tear. Of course.
This is probably it for him being, I would imagine, a Democrat influencer.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe not.
I don't know. I've got reason to believe that he's going to stick around. Let's watch. This one's pretty short. Let's watch this one and see if there's anything I missed about Harry breaking the law. Because again, I'm not defending Harry Sisson if he broke the law, but if Harry Sisson didn't break the law, I'm also not defending Harry Sisson. And that's the end of that statement.
I've been trying to figure out how I want to word a video regarding this, but I think what I'm going to just say is I've never been the woman that has called out behavior like this. I've never been
Put your shirt on.
one of these people. And if you have been, fucking props to you. Because I don't think anybody could comprehend how genuinely terrifying it is to do something like this. Yeah. I
All right, never mind. Never mind. Whatever.
What?
That was the video.
I feel like I'm gossiping with some children over some bullshit.
Pretty much.
Oh, he fucking finger blasted you and you and you and you. I'm sorry. I don't care. Did you?
Yeah,
What?
there's
They all
like
say-
there's like texts, and they're sharing. I don't even know if we should share them because, like, Harry Sisson, I don't have to like his behavior. I've never liked Harry Sisson's behavior, and I'm not going to start now. But like, so what he did was just cheating on women with other women, or playing around, like having a bunch of women. If that's it, then this is I mean, aren't Democrats the ones that are all about the free love and open relationships and all that shit? Why now? And I do think it's important to ask the question, why now? Why is Harry Sisson all of a sudden under fire? Like, well, let me bring this up first. This is Harry Sisson today. That was yesterday. This is Harry Sisson today. He's just strolling along the street and says, "Feeling good today." Sorry. Feeling good today. Let's continue to fight for democracy and stay focused on stopping Trump. Sorry, it's not supporting. Harry Sisson apparently is just fine, but yeah, like, why now is he being attacked? As if there was anything that you could do or say about Harry Sisson now that would be more shameful, embarrassing, or career-ending than supporting Biden and Kamala Harris in the 2024 election. Not just supporting them, but supporting them to the die-hard extent that Harry Sisson did. If that didn't end Harry Sisson's career, then what is being in several relationships at once going to do to him? Anything?
Or maybe this is like the Democratic machine. A bit of a conspiracy theory here, but maybe this is them like expelling this guy as an approved influencer. You run your course, and like you just said, you supported enthusiastically people who we lost big, that were universally unliked, unlikable, awful, terrible people. So like you got to go. You know what I mean? Maybe this is their way of getting rid of him.
I have a counter theory, Dave. I like your
Cool.
theory. I think it could be true. They're just trying to get him out of there. They're soft core Epsteining him. But what if it's the inverse? What if they're like, Harry Sisson ran his course and was super gay for Biden and Kamala, and everybody called him gay for the last forever since he was born 5 years ago, and now they're like, if we're gonna keep Harry Sisson around, we got to rebrand. So it's not necessarily the
That's even
complete
crazier of a
opposite.
theory.
It might be both, actually. It might be both. You see where I'm going with this? It might be a rebrand of Harry Sisson is definitely not gay. You see, he's a womanizer. He's an Andrew Tate, actually, and we'll just throw him over to the Republican side and let him influence there, or whatever.
That's a crazy conspiracy theory.
It could be both. This could be trial by fire, Dave. This could be like, we're going to make a scandal around Harry Sisson in order to see if he can stand the test. And if he can withstand it, he will come out the other side as this player Andrew Tate baller, and if he doesn't, we will axe him. So a little bit of both there, but yeah. Or it's also possible that he's just been a hack dude on the internet who's had hack takes and now, like pushed his power limits too far and got called out for it. I do think it's also interesting that it was just last week the breaking news about Harry Sisson was that he had a girlfriend because a girl sat on his lap and refused to show her face and flipped off the camera. So it's like Harry Sisson says, hey, I have a woman. And then all of a sudden all these women come out of the woodwork to be like, you have a woman? Which,
dude, that supports your theory. I forgot about that. That just happened. But yeah, that awkward, weird photo of the girl who was turned the other way. Yeah. So like, look, this guy, he's into chicks. And then the very next week they do that. That's very interesting, bro.
Mm-hmm. Something's here, I suspect.
We will. All right, we'll follow it. We'll follow Sisson. Damn it.
We got a few chats here. Let's see. We won't read all of them because there are a lot of old things at this point. Sorry, because we're still going to do our show. No one at all says, Drew Barrymore, fucking Drew Barrymore produces this shit. I think that's in reference to Dylan Mulvaney. JC says, he had his lower ribs removed. I did not know that, but that sounds like a.
I don't believe that, but
sounds like more like a Marilyn Manson theory to me. And
right,
they're not all bad.
He probably did some shit though. He looks chemically altered.
Yep. Okay. JC says he's a hypocrite because he acts gay. Yes. And Democrats are the real sexists. All right. Moving on. We need to talk about our other boy, Trump. Donald Trump. Donald Trump, who we spent all last week ragging on. Good news. There's good news this week. And a whole lot of bad news, once again, about Donald Trump. But we'll start with the good because that's the better way to run a show. Donald Trump said this week, the pardons that sleepy Joe Biden gave to the unselected committee of political thugs and many others are hereby declared void, vacant, and of no further force or effect because of the fact that they were done by autopen. In other words, Joe Biden did not sign them, but more importantly, did not know anything about them. The necessary pardoning documents were not explained to or approved by Biden. He knew nothing about them, and the people that did may have, should be a comma there, may have committed a crime. Therefore, those on the unselect committee who destroyed and deleted all evidence obtained during their blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. Basically, what he's saying is because, like we talked a few weeks back, Joe Biden was pardoning Fauci, Liz Cheney, the J6 committee, all his buddies, some of his relatives, like just giving them preemptive pardons, even though there were no charges raised against them. Probably should be by now, but there were no charges raised against them. He just said, pardon for whatever you have done or might do or might have done, which it was absolutely absurd to begin with. But now we've got Donald Trump, even if it is for bluster or PR appeal, has stated that, I'm sure somebody on his team brought this crazy harebrained idea to him. I think it's a great one, at least for the topic of conversation. But Joe Biden apparently used AutoPen, or whoever signed for Joe Biden used AutoPen, which is like an auto fill-in e-sign type of situation for documents, illegal documents. And Donald Trump is making the argument that we have no way of knowing if Joe Biden signed them, hit the button to sign them, clicked, or even knew that they were signed because of this situation. I think this is probably not going to end up going anywhere, but I am open to being incorrect. And I at the very least, the same as when Putin said, no, we're going to actually prosecute Fauci, or whatever he said, we're going to extradite Fauci or something. Even though we know that these things aren't going to do anything, it does bring me joy when they're brought back into the topic of conversation, even if I don't trust Donald Trump right now for him to say that thing that Joe Biden said about these people. I'm overturning that. I don't know. Do you think that this goes anywhere, Dave? Do you think there's any chance that this leads to a Fauci being pardoned? Does this actually overturn the pardon, or is this just Donald Trump playing Donald Trump's 4D chess?
I think a lot of what they do is to try and test the waters. Like what, they kind of test the waters with the Supreme Court over here, see what they can get away with, what they can't, what the states will tolerate. I think they're kind of doing that. And no, I don't think that there's going to be anything that happens to Fauci. I don't think, man, I've never seen a bad guy go down.
Yeah.
And I'm not holding my breath
At
for
least
that.
not alive,
Yeah, right. And I'm sure we'll talk about the JFK files, but that's lends to that point. Like,
yeah,
I haven't seen it, man. I haven't seen them be very aggressive. We're still waiting for those, phase 2. Give me phase 2. Put some more binders of the Epstein shit out. Do something.
Right.
Do something.
Phase 2, meaning like the next 5 redacted pages, please. That'd be great.
Right.
Yeah. No, instead of that, Dave, we get this from Donald Trump. Let nobody be fooled. The hundreds of attacks being made by Houthi, the sinister mobsters and thugs based in Yemen who are hated by the Yemeni people, all emanate from and are created by Iran. Word of the day. Any further attack or retaliation by the Houthis will be met with great force, and there is no guarantee that the force will stop there. Iran has played the innocent victim of rogue terrorists from which they've lost control, but they haven't lost control. They're dictating every move, giving them the weapons, blah, 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 blah. All right. So Donald Trump, I think this is when he was threatening to bomb Yemen, and now he's moved on to bombing Yemen, and mostly this has been completely ignored and overlooked. And not for no reason, because I can't say that I am any sort of authority figure to speak on this. Dave, you are, a little bit older, a little bit wiser in years, and have seen some of this stuff for a little bit longer. And also I feel like you've paid a little bit more close attention to foreign affairs than I have, and I'm a big old dummy. I don't mean to set you up for failure if you don't know any more than this, but what are we looking at here? What are we talking about?
Well, I don't know much, but I probably do know more than you on this. So we're looking at a conflict that's probably a decade plus, right? This was the Houthis, I believe, or whatever, militant tribe that was causing a ruckus in Yemen was like a thorn in the side of the Saudi Arabian empire, kingdom, right? So I think that we were doing a lot of like refueling of jets and providing basically what we're going to do for Israel right now, providing weapons or, munitions and, just assistance in that region, I think, to the Saudis as they, launched a war on like the poorest people in the world.
Yeah.
And of course, they'll tell you that there's militant rebels there doing all kinds of terrible
Blowing
things.
up ships.
And right. And I don't know much about that, to be perfectly honest with you, the names and faces of, what's going on, but I imagine that's a similar tale that we've seen play out in, the 7 countries as Wesley Clark laid out. So I know that Donald Trump was a critic of this and warned on Twitter 10 years ago that Barack Obama should avoid this and, stop. And this is good for nobody and stay out of Yemen. And, can only imagine that he's doing this on behalf of some interests that want this done. And I know Marco, we were talking about Marco Rubio last week or the week before, but he was just in Saudi Arabia, and all the interviews of him talking, and the magazines were like, oh, they talked about Ukraine, and I'm sure that's true, but I'm sure that they talked about this too, because this happened, within a few days. So, he's on board, man. The axis of evil is Saudi Arabia, United States, Israel. I've been saying that for 20 years. Those are the 3 major power centers, which is ironic too, because they kind of represent like the 3 Abrahamic religions of the world, which is interesting. Mm-hmm. But that's pretty much all I know about that, man. I just, Dave Smith is a wealth of information, but I'm sure he got most of that from Scott Horton. But we certainly shouldn't be there. And, housing imagine thinking that Donald Trump was the one who is really passionate about stopping the Houthis.
Right. Yeah.
And,
even from me, like, I don't know that much about the different regions, groups, whatever. But even from me, as somebody who just pays attention to the news, I've seen the Iran. Like, he got shot in Pennsylvania when last year? Like the middle of the year last year. And immediately they were like, well, we have reason to believe that this is an Iran attempted assassination. It's like, they never said where they got that information, where it came from. They knew in advance even. They made themselves look worse because they're like, we knew in advance that Iran was going to attempt an assassination on Donald Trump's life. And then we didn't, raise our security, and our security was completely worthless. So it was shady from the get-go, but then just throwing in, it was obviously Iran. Based on what? Based on your plans coming down the pike of supporting, not supporting Israel, pretending to that you want peace. All the peace talks that Donald Trump has been pushing. And I want to make it real clear, like, we signed up for Donald Trump because Donald Trump was really pro-peace. He was very much pro-peace, and supposedly, according to all the headlines, all these different groups were talking about coming to peace agreements just under the guise of Donald Trump being about to go into the White House. Israel and Palestine were supposedly in talks. Ukraine and Putin were supposedly in talks. And everybody else was supposedly, peace. Donald Trump was the guy of peace. He wants the killing to stop. He said it so many times, and now it's like, well, because Iran, whatever, we need to drop Tomahawk missiles on Yemen and kill innocent civilians. It's I don't know. I don't like being right on these types of things, but I've had the suspicion that we would get this rug pull at some point, and it would be at best similar to what Donald Trump did the first time around, which was Yemen even, wasn't it? Like, he dropped bombs on Yemen within like the first few months of his first presidency, didn't he? Or am I remembering incorrectly?
No, I think you might be right about that.
So yeah, I think I think I just want to play at least.
Might have been Syria. Can't remember.
Who knows? Whatever. But here's Ron Paul and his take on it, because he seems to be the only real name that has any concern at all about the people in Yemen.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to the weekly report. President Trump, stop bombing Yemen and exit the Middle East.
You dumb
Over
bastard.
the weekend, President Trump.
What's that?
You dumb bastard. I just loved his tone. President Trump,
Quit.
Stop with your bullshit. You got to be able to
ordered a massive military operation against the small country of Yemen. Was Yemen in the process of attacking the United States? No. Did the president in that case go to Congress and seek a declaration of war against the country? No. The fact is, Yemen hadn't even threatened the United States before the bombs started falling. Last year, candidate Trump strongly criticized the Biden administration's obsession with foreign interventionism to the detriment of our problems at home. In an interview at the Libertarian National Convention, he criticized Biden's warmongering to podcaster Tim Pool, saying, "You can solve problems over a telephone. Instead, they start dropping bombs. Recently, they're dropping bombs all over Yemen. You don't have to do that." Yeah, once in office, Trump turned to military force as his first option since the Israeli-Hamas ceasefire plan negotiated by President Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff. Yemen was left Red Sea shipping alone. However, after Israel's implemented a total blockade of humanitarian relief to the citizens of Gaza last week, Houthis leaders threatened to again begin blocking Israel's Red Sea shipping activity. That was enough for President Trump to drop bombs and launch missiles for hours, killing several dozen Yemeni citizens, including women and children, in the process. After the attack, Trump not only threatened much more force to be used against Yemen, but he also threatened Iran. His national security advisor, Mike Waltz, added that the U.S. may start bombing Iranian ships in the area, a move that would certainly lead to a major Middle East war.
What happened to Donald Trump was just going to come in and take Gaza, Dave? Because I wasn't thrilled about that either. We weren't. And now we're just bombing the area for ships going in and out. If Trump took Gaza and the Gaza Strip and all that, one of the waterways that we're discussing here, and bombing Yemen for be ours at that point, if he did that thing that he said he was going to do?
Yeah, I guess so. And you're going to need more. I mean, not like you don't have Iran completely surrounded with 30 military bases, but yeah, probably could use another one in Israel. And certainly if you're going to launch a war against Iran, which, dude, Donald Trump has given me no reasons to think that he is not going to do that.
Yeah.
None. That absolutely looks like it's not just on the table, but they're just sprinkling the pre-programming. That's all what's going on right now.
It's been happening since the assassination attempt that I'm once again starting to question whether or not it was legitimate, because as time goes on, you remember back when the assassination attempt happened, and I was like, I'm not sure though. Like a lot of things seemed off. And then the biggest issue for me was that he didn't call out the Secret Service for at very best the abysmal job that the Secret Service did, and blamed Iran right off the bat. So I'm back to questioning that at this point, because all signs point to this was a plan, at least since then and long before then.
I agree. It's definitely the long-term plan to round out this whole war on terror with Iran. But I'm more inclined, and your theory could definitely be correct, but I'm more inclined to believe that maybe he didn't want to do that. Maybe he wanted to, hey, I'll be friendly with Israel and I'll be, whatever, you can move the embassy, maybe down with that, but not down with, all out war with Iran. And maybe they just threatened him. I would be more inclined to believe that was next time we won't miss.
Could be.
And now he'll do everything. But you could be right too. And but for sure, dude, I wish I knew that he was going to be a ardent supporter of the Zionist mission, but I was hoping that would stop with Israel Gaza. I was hoping, and it looks like they're going to end the war in Ukraine, probably because they wouldn't be able to manage that while you're doing the other big project.
It does seem coincidental that as we're like, yay, end the war in Ukraine, that doesn't need to happen. We're like, yes, but also here's some bombs over here and some bombs over there in places that, Dick Cheney would love.
And it's all, that's the common denominator too. All the Zionists are just saying everything that happens, whether it's Hamas or these people in Yemen that are doing all these horrible deeds, it's all because of Iran. Iran is sponsoring all that. They are the world sponsor of terror, not the United States, who's housed 2.5-3 million people over the past 20 years, right? Not Israel, who just housed 500,000 in the past year and a half. Right. Not Iran.
Yep.
Fucking crazy, dude.
Yep. And in addition to all of that, completely unrelated, I'm sure, Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel had this to say this week, because apparently all those negotiations between Netanyahu and Gaza that were rumored have not only broken down, but they have broken so far down that now he's saying this. From now on, Israel... Hold on, let me turn down his voice, because... Yeah. From now on, Israel will act against Hamas with increasing force. And from now on, negotiations will only take place under fire. Hamas has already felt the weight of our force in the last 24 hours, and I want to assure you and them This is only the beginning. So, yay, peace. I want the killing to stop. Trump's best buddy here is, I don't know. Apparently, Hamas. So this says PM Netanyahu has warned Hamas that Israel's breaking of the Gaza ceasefire with widespread aerial attacks is only the beginning. I think I read that this was based on them. Nope, my camera's dead. It's not dead. It just gave up on me. Gaza's or the ceasefire that they had was I think that he alluded to it being broken by them, but let's say it was broken by them. Even if it was broken by them, let's say they let off a shot during a ceasefire peacetime. Okay, and then Netanyahu ramps it up to, we will not negotiate except for with weapons, which means we will wipe you off the face of the earth, and there is no more negotiations to be had. That's how I read that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Trump's best buddy, Trump being the anti-war super peace guy who's going to make Gaza into a Disneyland or whatever the fuck, maybe he's got something planned here, but it sounds to me like Donald Trump said, we're going to just take Gaza, and that was all just fucking Trump bluster, and Benjamin Netanyahu is like, well, we're going to end this. We're going to end it our way, and we're going to end it by taking your money to wipe Gaza off the face of the earth. Am I wrong, Dave? Am I getting this wrong?
No, man. I just, lately, I've just been on this tip that, again, best president of my lifetime, but
low bar,
and he's got this just amazing ability to make the mundane or even the bad look good.
Right.
We're exciting. Like the whole, he'll tout this JFK release. Look, I'm not saying there's going to be nothing in there, but if there was something huge in there, that would already be out, right now. And I don't even think that I haven't seen anybody mention Bush, Dulles, any of that.
Yeah.
But Trump
Johnson
will jump exactly. Trump will love to be the guy who released these documents that people have wanted for decades. Decades people have wanted these, and now I have given it to you. So he'll say that it's true, but it's how to lie with statistics, right? And the Epstein stuff too. Squashed it. Everybody wanted it, and I gave it to him. Gave him the truth. Most transparent administration ever. Even the way Kristi Noem is like the hottie from North Dakota who got the Department of Homeland Security gig. She's always showing up on Twitter looking too fine with her DHS, her tactical jacket on and stuff. Just they kind of do this again. It's like a TV show.
Yeah.
And Trump can really polish a turd, and he can tell you that he wants peace and then turn around and go, we're going to whatever, kick the shit out of him.
He kind of did the first time too, as we mentioned. The reason why some libertarians, not us, but some libertarians voted for him the first time was because he seemed then like the best choice because he's more pro-peace than any president has been before. And he didn't, and then he got in and then got out, and we were like, yay, he didn't start new wars. He did bomb new people and did kill lots of folks and maintained wars, but
right.
It's like best president of our lifetime because the bar was set so low that there wasn't multiple new wars started under his watch. Good job.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
Yep.
And beggars can't be choosers.
Yes.
So it's
we're in the early stages of he didn't start any new wars. Just remember that he did bomb Yemen right now, and there will be more to come. And all of his buddies are currently going to war.
Dude, the larger thing at play here, which is really actually quite depressing and sad and scary, is that there is, we're not going to get the answers that people have wanted for decades, right? You're not going to get the Epstein files. People aren't going to go to jail.
Right.
And the show will go on. And there can be nobody who challenges whatever is above Trump. Nobody. There's no one to do it. Elon Musk fears for his life. He's the richest man in the world who's at the side of the president.
I mean, there's people above Trump who can challenge Trump, like Benjamin Netanyahu.
Right. Yeah, there's a couple.
They just
couple
don't
that
have the
probably
best ideas.
But like it looks like that was our champion or our chance to have one, who could like whatever challenge the establishment or whatever.
Trust the plan.
You are going to get the plan no matter what. The plan is Iran, man.
Yep.
That was happening the whole time since before I had one gray hair on my head. Iran was the plan.
Yep.
And Donald Trump couldn't stop that, even if he wanted to, which I'm pretty convinced that like, no. You're the guy to do it.
Yep. I mean, there's no even hesitation or discussion. It's just like, this is happening. In the Israel, like, I want peace. I want the killing to stop. But in this debate between Ukraine and Russia, I need to talk to both sides. We need to work this out. In Israel versus Gaza, we're going to completely whitewash this region. We're going to ethnically cleanse it and put up a shopping mall or whatever the fuck. And it's being handled so obviously differently, not only being handled differently than what he said that he was going to do going into it, but than what he's doing with this other very big war that he's supposedly trying to get us out of, where he's talking to both sides. When was the last time Donald Trump set up a meeting with whoever the fuck is in charge of Gaza or Hamas or what have you? Are there phone calls? Are there peace deals being made by Trump there? Or is it just like, I'm talking to Benjamin Netanyahu and trying to find out the best way to shut them up for a time so that I can pretend like there's peace and then let you glass them? I don't know, but what I do know is that Florida is really happy with Donald Trump, possibly even more than us, because here's what Florida's up to. This is a aerial drone show. It's got Donald Trump dancing in the Donald Trump moves, a golden new age for America. For peace, for hope. USA. Look at that. Oh, there's the Mount Rushmore with Donald Trump's face added to it in the sky on drones. Historic president. World's best deal maker. World's best peacemaker. Liberator of hostages. Hasn't happened. Defender of freedom. Defender of freedom. You want to explain to the audio listeners what we're seeing here for defenders of freedom, Dave?
Oh my God, this is just the worst. This is how you compete with China. That's what they mean. What they want, big. Then Donald Trump's the guy to give it to you. Big light shows. But you know what keeps going through my
just
head?
this here is what I'm asking about. Defenders of freedom, and they've got big U.S. Outline with drones, and then a big Israel outline with drones.
Oh my God, I didn't
This
even
is the
notice
freedom.
that on
Yes.
the side. That's the fucking
Yes.
Israel on the side.
Yep.
Oh my God.
We're just a unit country at this point. We are Israel, and Israel is us.
Yeah.
Stronger together. Fight, fight, fight. Fight, fight.
Oh,
Fight hatred.
wow.
Fight anti-Semitism. Fight terrorism. Donald Trump dancing again. Thank you, President Trump, written in the sky.
Where's
Yes. That's down in Florida. Benny Johnson said, hands down one of the coolest things I've seen. Watch this insane drone show put on in Florida last night in appreciation of President Trump. So the main takeaways there is Donald Trump is doing amazing all around. It's a new golden age. It's all the propaganda that Donald Trump's been pushing that we fell for at least some degree, and still hope that it comes true. But it's seeming less and less true as defenders of freedom, stronger together, fight, fight, fight. We are Israel. Israel is us. And the three biggest things that we need to acknowledge is fight hatred, fight anti-Semitism, and fight terrorism. This is BLM in reverse. This is BLM under another name. This is identity politics. Like the one thing we need to fight, hatred, which means, I guess, hate speech, hating people. I don't know. As we bomb Yemen, as we bomb innocent civilians, we need to fight hatred. We also, point number 2, we need to fight anti-Semitism, not even just racism anymore. It's funny to watch the right wingers like James Lindsay and everybody who are like the woke right, the woke right, the woke right, are the people that are like, it's the Jews all the time. Meanwhile, they're like, we need to fight, and we need to put this hashtag in our bio. We need to fight anti-Semitism, not just racism. We're taking the racism, the sexism, the stuff, all the woke shit that we've supposedly been against this entire time. We're against it still, but we're taking this one little chunk of racism called anti-Semitism, and we're making it our entire identity to the extent that right now, the three biggest points are fight hatred, fight anti-Semitism, and fight terrorism. Between hatred and terrorism is not liking one group of people, just one out of the, hundreds, thousands of types of people. If you dislike them, that is the one of three main things that our country needs to fight right now. The woke right currently is just pro-Israel Zionist bullshit of we need to support them because, and it is, I don't know, it is BLM on steroids because, like, BLM at least, their whole shtick was cops in the United States are killing black people. They killed George Floyd, and they're just hunting down black people. And everybody needs to care. If you don't care that cops are hunting down black people, if you look at the statistics and come to the conclusion that cops aren't hunting down black people, then that means you're a bigot. Now we're to the point where the Republicans, who were all opposed to that because the stats didn't really actually show that cops were all racist and hunting down black people, now they're like, if you are against what Israel's government is currently doing, decimating people of color in Gaza who are innocent, who did absolutely nothing to nobody. They weren't high on speedballs. They weren't attacking the cops. They weren't running at a cop with a knife. They were just there, existed in the wrong place at the wrong time. If you do not appreciate the actions of Israel's government, you are not only a racist, you are an anti-Semite, which, as we all know, is worse than racism. The Republicans going along with this right now are more woke than the Democrats were 2 years ago. Any thoughts, Dave?
I see the parallels, but I would just add, or maybe this is a difference of opinion, we are witnessing something a lot bigger than the woke movement. And this mind virus is so much more embedded than that one.
This mind virus is scriptural, baby.
This has so much more of a financial backing, obviously. Yep. And just, more history, more roots, more people invested. And dude, this is circumstantial evidence. Take it for what it is. I've never seen bloodlust like I have from, your average Zionist influencer or like some unknown account on Twitter. I've never seen anything like it. And popular ones too. Like your average, like whatever, hot conservative blonde chick going, oh, if you didn't want this to happen, then just return the hostages. Like, how could you look at what's happening and say that? You absolute, just fucking trash human. It's just the worst, dude. Yeah. So, and it's just so prevalent that, like, I'm really
supposed to believe that the hostages are still alive. Like, if we're assuming that the hostages are still alive, or even if they're not, it's like, so you don't like that innocent people were killed, right? Or weren't killed even. They were held hostage. That's bad because they were innocent. Okay, so let's bomb a bunch of other innocent people to make up for it, and somehow that's justified because these people are holding innocent people hostage. Like, even if they're not alive, it's still not as bad as what Israel's doing right now.
They don't care about those hostages. They would rather prolong this war, just like Netanyahu would. It's not about that. That's an absolute just deflection, right? Emotional blackmail. The plan was always to expand Israel, to expand the Anglo-American empire, the moneyed interests. Trump is, subscribe, son. And we're witnessing in real time, man. it looks different and feels different than the woke mind virus, which kind of crept up and, had maybe like, I'm not saying like, there haven't been communists in this country, but, it had maybe like 10 years worth of like influence, and it was weird and it was a weird time. But this is like the big plan, it seems. And all of
This
the
is like woke
free speech
meets,
stuff.
This is like woke meets post 9/11. Like we're combining them together now. I mean, there
And
still was
everyone's
a lot
primed for it.
Yeah, there still was a lot of that stuff after 9/11. Like anybody with a turban on their head was a terrorist or whatever, and we all had to get frisked at the airport. But now it's like, well, if you think the wrong thoughts and don't support this war, then you're borderline terrorist at this point.
That's it. And that's the thing that people should really realize, is that those are two sides of the same coin. Like the whole free speech thing is intertwined with the fact that they are going to launch an all-out world war, and people that talk about it and protest it.
I just thought of something. Sorry. This is so like you take the Patriot Act of 9/11. It was like, well, it's all these brown people with turbans on their head. We need to focus on them. Now it's like that, but instead of the brown people with turbans on their head, it's everybody who doesn't support these people with these attributes or whatever. It's literally everybody else. It's like you take the Patriot Act on steroids, because the Patriot Act was like, we're going to discriminate against this particular type of people. Now it's like we're going to discriminate against everybody who doesn't favor this particular type of people or doesn't support this particular type of people. Like it's so much broader. It's taking, as I said, the Patriot Act, combining it with, if you don't think the way that we think, if you're not a part of our cult, then you are the other. Combining them together to where if you don't think the way our cult thinks, you are a terrorist, and you don't have to look a certain way to be a terrorist anymore. You just have to say something wrong on the internet. You have to disagree with our war that is bombing up Gazans.
Yes. And the combination, like we just saw in the sky in Florida, of America and Israel and their interests and their special relationship, like taking it to the next level, the unity there, the common denominator, the history is for war against Islam. That's what they want bigger too. That's what Iran is, and all that stuff. They want to get rid of that.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to try to. I don't know. And because the people are ready. These motherfuckers on Twitter, I'm telling you, they want it. They want it. It's disgusting. I saw that video you put out with Maj talking about how, being pro-war is such bitch behavior. It really is.
Yeah.
And there's so much of it. So it's...
Yeah, I want conflict. I have no interest in, fighting it. I want conflict. I want... My guy said conflict is good, so I'm going to send other people's kids to fight conflict that I'm not willing to actually take part in myself. Yeah.
Yeah. We won the game. We lost the game. You didn't do shit.
Yep. But, yeah, that's, I got nothing. If you get hurt on the job, contact Lone Star Injury Attorneys. We'll be right back. Have you or a loved one been injured by some fuck nuggets, reckless driving, a tumble at your shitty job, or some other form of dumb shit outside of your control? Well, fear not, because today's episode is sponsored by a lawyer. Lone Star Injury Attorneys is an award-winning personal injury law firm that achieves maximum results for its injured clients. Max the Axe is not just a lawyer, but a hardcore Mises Caucus libertarian and also a big supporter of this show and all of our bullshit. Max is the best personal injury lawyer in Texas, but don't judge him by his occupation or location. Max is an avid defender of liberty and justice in whatever state you got fucked in. If you've been injured and your ass needs saving, go with the pros at Lone Star Injury Attorneys. Visit LoneStarInjuryAttorneys.com or Google Max the Axe. Consultations are free and you don't pay a single dime unless you win. Once again, go to LoneStarInjuryAttorneys.com and get your ass covered.
Hi, I'm Ruby Wednesday, a strong, independent pup and a lifelong bitches advocate. I have a new channel where I share pieces of my life to try to help my fellow bitches cope by drawing attention to myself for clicks and validation. If you're into shows like Sex and the City, Gossip Girl, and an all-female reboot of The Call of the Wild, you're just the kind of wolf queen I'm looking for. Check me out now at Official Ruby Wednesday on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and all the strong bitch socials. At Official Ruby Wednesday. Go follow me and keep bugging bitches.
Hey there, do you like shirts? Of course you do. Well, get a load of these shirts from DissidentShop.com. Your one-stop shop for all the latest designs that will make your friends go, oh, wow. That guy is so based, I want to be his friend during the apocalypse. Go to DissidentShop.com and wear the dissidents you want to see in the world.
And we are back. Welcome back. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you. There is another video that I wanted to share. We don't have to spend much time on this, but on the topic of right-wingers being a hardcore Zionist and that being the, you know, the backswing to whatever. Like, this is supposed to be the inverse of the pro-war, the woke moralist, the whatever bullshit we get. If you're not pro-Zionist, you're bad. This is a guy. Have you heard of this guy, Misfit Patriot Dave? That all the Tower Gang people in particular are making his life very uncomfortable lately, and we're not going to spend a bunch of time. There's a whole lot there. Go check it out on their show if you want to, but there's this one video that he put out kind of in response to some of that, kind of in response to a lot of the stuff that we've been talking about here, but this guy, yeah, I don't know. I just had to talk about this video at least a bit because he's just your typical, yeah, I don't know, conservative influencer dude in his truck ranting at his phone about things that he feels very passionately about, and I thought this one was worth a share. Here you go.
Okay, I've made several videos like this over the past year and a half, so let's do another one. If you're anti-Zionist, you can go fuck yourself. Yeah, that's right. If you say, I'm not anti-Semitic, I'm not anti-Jew, I'm anti-Zionist, eat every dick until the end of time and then eat some more in hell. Because guess what? I'm a Zionist. I believe that the Jews have a right to live in peace in their ancestral homeland. And that's what Zionism is. So when you say I'm anti-Zionist, you say I'm anti-misfit.
Done. That's fine. That's fine. Referring to yourself as your Twitter tag in the third person, it's pretty gay, bro.
And if you're anti-misfit, get fucked. Yeah. I'm an American patriot and Christian Zionist, and yes, you can be both. Because I read the Bible.
The fact that he has to say it, like, shows that there's a shift in the times, at least, because we don't have conservatives being like, obviously, everybody is a Christian and Zionist and all these things. He's like, you can be both, because I know people have made a lot of good arguments about how you might be able to not be both, but or how you couldn't possibly be both, but you can.
This guy seems like he's into show tunes, bro.
I'm into show tunes, Dave, and I'm not this gay.
I'm sorry.
And I love my country. See, I'm not going to fucking sugarcoat this one bit. If we are friends, if we have mutuals, if we voted the same way, if you consider yourself on the same side, if you're MAGA, whatever, it doesn't fucking matter to me. You're a huge piece of shit, and you can get fucked. You see, I'm not down with espousing the ideals of Adolf Hitler. I'm sorry. I'm not.
I am sorry.
And if you don't think that that's what you're doing, you're fucking retarded. Because yes, you are.
Wow.
95% of fucking Jews are Zionists. If you hate 95% of
95% of Jews are Zionists. Okay.
I'm sorry. But if I reject the ideas of Adolf Hitler, you are such a fucking loser, bro.
Because Hitler's, claim to fame was that he just disagreed with the government of Israel, right? But just the feigned outrage is just, to me, so reminiscent of everything that we've seen from the left over the last 10 years that it is painful. Like, you do not support this thing. You should be canceled if you do not say the magic words. I say the magic words. I denounce anti-Semitism as irrational and repugnant because that is what we do as conservatives, because it says in the Bible that white Eastern Europeans who are mostly atheists should be represented when they are bombing innocent civilians out of existence.
Sorry. You're fucking retarded, because yes, you are. 95% of fucking Jews are
So it's okay to say retarded now. You just can't say other things. Like we've just shifted what is allowed and not allowed to be said.
Zionists. If you hate 95% of anything, you hate that thing. There are
A whole lot of white Christians are also Zionists. I don't hate them. I disagree with them. Saying that 95% of Jews are Zionists, yes, that checks out. I'm not sure how you can confirm that, but that doesn't mean I hate all of them for disagreeing, but you hate them.
16 million fucking Jews out there, and let's say 800,000 of them agree with you. You might as well be saying, I'm not racist, I got a black friend. You're a fucking moron. Do you realize
this? Read his body language. Look in his eyes. It looks like he's reaching even on his. It doesn't feel honest even in his eye contact with his own phone. I know that that's not a good
it's
judgment.
Highly
but
performative.
Yes, it feels so
very
acted.
You're
And there's been video. I could probably find him in the comments of this because I'm sure somebody posted it. There's been videos of him arguing with other people and clearly not knowing anything about what he's talking about.
Fucking moron. Do you realize that
but if he yells loud enough, he becomes right.
You make excuses for the innocent Palestinians and the evil Zionists that are creating a fucking genocide, even though you guys don't ever fucking talk about another fucking genocide ever! You care more about the USS Liberty, a friendly fire incident in the fucking, 60-something fucking years ago? No, that's more important than the fucking Christians being slaughtered in the Congo by radical Islamic terrorists. Over 67,000 terrorist attacks under the fucking name of Islam in the past 50 years. And you guys think that the 2% of the fucking population is the problem. Again, you're fucking retarded. And if you hate me because I'm a Zionist, I'll hate you right back, motherfucker. This is the fucking hill I will die on. I will fight for them, and I will fight you for them, because nobody else will.
Nobody else will.
They don't have anybody else.
They don't have anybody else. They've just got Misfit Patriot. That's it. They've only got Misfit Patriot fighting for them because nobody else will. The billions and probably trillions of dollars that we have aided to Israel at this point, nobody else is supporting them. Poor them. It's just this one guy in his truck before he goes to his construction job. It's just him supporting them single-handedly, propping up the great state of Israel, our greatest and only ally. Dave, any thoughts?
Oh my God. Yeah, it pisses me off that he has crept what seems like out of nowhere. He's got, 10 times my Twitter followers for being a fucking epic loser. Just what a fucking cum dumpster. That guy is, dude, that was like theater kid gay. Like just, good day, sir. If you can't give me the respect I deserve. It's just like,
how dare you?
Oh. Like it's and I can't believe that so many people like that. I saw a bunch of people sharing that. Of course, Zionist trash. Oh, you know what? This guy makes some good points. Check this out. Like some million follower accounts sharing this, boosting this guy's signal. But cheers to the Tower Gang, dude, for calling out this absolute piece of trash. And drag him some more because fuck that guy and fuck Zionists. He doesn't even know what a Zionist is. And yeah, I do hate Zionism. It's awful. And it's doing everything that's murderous and terrible around the world right now, and led by fucking epic losers like you.
Here is the clip that I was referencing that I assumed would be in the comment section, and I was not disappointed.
In a theological debate, you brought on the wrong person. That's why you probably should have looked at
him versus
many
Andrew
of my
Wilson.
Posts where I say I'm not a religious scholar. I'm arguing based off of the text that I can get in front of me in a Twitter feed. So somebody says something, I can go look it up. I can read it, interpret it, and then go off of my own personal experience in the Bible
Right.
studies that I have.
So the remnant that Paul's talking about in Romans 11.
A theological debate, you brought on the wrong person.
No, that's not the clip I was looking for. My bad. Yeah. There's a few out there. The one against the Wilson dude, Andrew Wilson, is the one that I was referencing, where he got called out for how can these things exist mutually. And there's a theological debate to be had there of how can one religion, Christianity, prop up another religion, Judaism, if one religion, Judaism, believes that by their own text that Jesus, the main guy in Christianity, this one believes that he is, by their own text, it would seem, is burning forever in an eternal lake of fire, boiling in his own excrement, and his mother was a whore. How do these things work together? I don't know. And I want to have somebody come on the show to explain it to me, because I was raised a pastor's kid in a real white Christian family, and I knew that we supported Israel. I knew that we supported Judaism and Jews and all that stuff and all their religion and everything, and Islam was the bad ones and all that, and we got to prop up Israel. They're still using that thing because in the Bible it says that you got to support this body of land, this land mass, and whatever government they prop up there and whatever that government does. I'm pretty sure it says that.
This is why they need stupid people. This is why stupid people are essential to the plan, dude. This is why there has been a deliberate dumbing down of the culture for a half a century.
Right.
So that you would be primed and stupid enough to cheer this on, to cheer on your own destruction and flag wave like fucking losers that your ancestors would be ashamed of. That's why. Sorry for you.
That's what you're doing. You're fucking retarded. Because yes, you are. 95% of Jews are Zionists. If you hate 95% of anything, you hate that thing.
All right. So that's
I hate you, dude. I do.
Those are those seem to be turning out to be the illegal protests that Donald Trump was referring to a couple weeks ago. And it's shaking out nicely. Now, let's move on, because we absolutely have to discuss, obviously, the JFK files on this podcast. You would think that would be the main topic of the day. And honestly, when I was trying to come up with the main topics of the day, I was like, Donald Trump, Neocon Don, I guess he's going that route. But, the JFK files were released, and we're a conspiracy theory podcast or whatever. But Harry Sisson was my favorite thing of the week, and that's
Snow
why
White.
he got first billing.
Don't forget, we're going to spend
That's right.
20 minutes on Harry Sisson and Snow White. We're going to give JFK
Important
the
things.
release.
Frankly,
Yeah,
Dave,
there's nothing in there.
correct me if I'm wrong, but there's more to say about Snow White and Disney and all of the controversy they've had. There's more things to say about, let's see. There's more things to say about Dylan Mulvaney. There's more things to be said about Harry Sisson and all of these things than there is about the JFK files at this point, because that just happened yesterday. And so far, what I've seen is some people saying it clearly seems like Israel was involved, and other Republicans saying, well, that means that you're an anti-Semite and you need to go to prison. Like that's kind of what I've gotten so far from the JFK files being released. I haven't seen like an LBJ or all that much CIA ties or a whole lot of anything, surprisingly enough. And I don't know, does that mean that we've just been, everybody who has been skeptical about the JFK files has been wrong for the last 53, 4 or 5 years? Have they been wrong? Was it just, I don't know, one guy named Lee Harvey Oswald who shot him, and then we've got some speculation on Israel, and we've got some speculation on CIA. Have you seen anything other than what I've seen, Dave? Because once again, it feels like we got a big old dump that Donald Trump said we were gonna get. RFK Jr. did not deliver it, which I think is strange and makes it suspicious, because did he agree to this being what we divulge? I don't know. But we were supposed to get these 3 dumps, the MLK, the JFK, the Epstein stuff, and we've gotten almost nothing on the Epstein stuff. And now we have the JFK files next. And it's apparently thousands of pages, and Israel is mentioned a couple times. So some people are saying that this proves that Israel was tied into it, and other people are saying the fact that these people are noticing that Israel was clearly heavily implicated in these documents proves that those people that noticed are bad and anti-Semitic and terrorists. Where do you stand, Dave?
Yeah, I've seen Israel's name in there a couple times. I haven't seen anything that, other than them being mentioned as, like whatever, sharing information. So we're going to need more than that. But if you don't mind, dude, I want to read this fake super chat from Sean. He said, thoughts on the idea that Trump winning was just a pressure release valve. It was supposed to happen, give us some pittance and a minor wins, but ultimately still advance state power. And I think that, yeah, that's kind of just what's going on. Like we've reached a boiling point. They need to put a bow on it.
Mm-hmm.
They need to not talk about Epstein anymore. They need to not talk about, the government. But
we
that
released
whole
them.
thing,
Don't you remember? We released them. A bunch of social media influencers showed that we released them.
But we, as like people who pay attention to this stuff and know that took the red pill, have to know that, like, and we did. But deep down, the people that cooed this country in 1963 didn't go back and take notes and go, okay, proper coup, did it. George Bush, nice job. Way to go. We'll put you in charge of the CIA later. It's not going to be on fucking paper. You know what I mean? Alan Dulles, we're going to give you an airport. They're not going to do that. They're going to deflect. You know what I've seen the most of, but nobody can provide the source page, is the thing about RFK Jr. Talking about how Biden is a traitor, which I think is funny. Because, like, okay, you got Kennedy in there, but who's the main villain so far of the entire 80,000 page dump? Joe Biden? Come on. So I think that this is probably a fake thing that's been made, to get people chasing something that's fake. But, right. And maybe it's not. Maybe it's legit. But, like, that's not the story of this.
Dear Senator Biden, you are a traitor. And bearing the signature, John F. Kennedy Jr.
Right.
Dun, dun,
Who
dun.
dies later within a year or something, right? So yeah, great story to tell, but yeah, I think they just want to put a bow on this. Stop talking about it, and we're not gonna know anything.
It feels that way. Is there anything in you actually, before we get to that, because I'm gonna forget it, is there anything in you that thinks that could just be it? Like they're not just putting a bow on it. This is just the unredacted documents. This is the legit story, and everybody, spun their theories all up in a whirlwind over the last 57 years, and now it's come to this, to where it's not that exciting, and sorry, whatever.
But is that what we're supposed to do, or are we going to pretend that all of the people who have done, like, the work and, can at least make a good case that this was a coup from inside the government onto itself? Ron Paul just wrote a book, something about the coup. It's all about this coup, 1963. They took over the country. It's not. I looked at the first 10 pages, and it was all about the USSR and Lee Harvey Oswald. Like, really? Is that what I'm getting? That it was a Russian conspiracy? Like, I'm sorry. I know he went to Russia. I'm not saying he wasn't a communist or there wasn't something there, but the Russians didn't do it.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear about that. I'm interested. I've heard some good theories that Israel might have been involved. Jack Rubenstein took care of Kennedy. What's this right here? What do we got?
This is, because you said there was a few implications, but not much. This is, I think, the biggest one so far that I've seen. CIA, the headline is, CIA has no objection to declassification and or release of CIA information in this document, except for brackets. Anything in brackets. Down below, they have in brackets. The Israeli Intelligence Service. Just like half a paragraph below, the brackets are the Israeli Intelligence Service. And I am leaving it open to the possibility of all of these things being faked at this point, because I have not gone through all the stuff, but I have seen this quite a handful of times. and I don't think everybody's making it up. But it says CIA directors permitted Angleton to run several intelligence projects, many of them with brackets, the Israeli intelligence service. So, I don't know. Did they miss something? Did they miss a few things? I've also heard people say, well, these anti-Zionist people, these anti-Semites, these evil right-wing Nazis, anybody who opposes us or notices anything, they're, all they've got to go on is 6 pages or 8 pages or whatever out of thousands of pages that reference like Israeli intelligence or Israel in any way, shape, or form. But it does, I need to see context, and I don't have it. I'm sorry, but CIA has no objection to declassified and or release of CIA information in this document, except for in brackets, and the brackets are about Israeli intelligence relations. It's like, well, I mean, they have something to hide at the very least, I have to assume. If we're asking the Israeli intelligence, do you have anything that you would like us to redact from this? And they're like, well, just the things that we already put in brackets. You got it covered. Did they miss it, or is this just a psyop in its own?
Great question. I don't know the answer to that. I do know that like we have deals with, like the Five Eyes, right? The other European countries, the UK, Australia, they share information, and they have deals to where like, I'm sure they can't disclose some of the sources that they got or like information they got from like Great Britain, because that's puts their national security at risk. So they have, you can't talk about this for 50 years or 100 years or whatever. So maybe some of their hands are tied in that way, but I wouldn't say that it's fake. I'm not calling that out on fake. What did I say? 98. But that's interesting if you're saying like, yeah, they put it in there and they weren't supposed to put it in there or not. I don't know. I don't know, man.
And but all news stories, it's too soon to tell. Like this just came out yesterday, like last night. And if even when Donald Trump got shot, I would be hesitant to report that, quickly, to be like the next day, afternoon, saying anything with confidence, because we don't know the story yet. We don't know what the rest of these pages are going to disclose or divulge. And right now we've got thousands of pages that I'm not going through. Somebody will, and they'll be, fact-checked or community noted or whatever until we come to what the conclusion is. But so far, all I know about the JFK files is that Israel was implicated sometimes, and some Republicans are like, well, the fact that you noticed that they were implicated means you're an anti-Semite.
All I know is I'm going to watch every episode of Dylan Mulvaney's podcast. But if you guys find anything good in the JFK files, let me know.
I'll be here. You just let me know.
I'll be right over here, right on the edge of my seat.
That's right. Now, we talked last week about, Tesla getting dicks painted on the side of them, that being terrorism. There's been, we're just going to gloss over this. There's been fires and arson and stuff, and people calling for more arson. Probably nothing to worry about. Definitely not civil war. Let's move on to the thing, because we're getting long-winded and long on time here. We do have 2 more things, absolutely, that we have to cover at least. And the first one is, Dave, have you heard about the people who got stuck on the space station?
Oh my God, I wanted to talk to you about this. I was going to bring this up if you didn't. Yes, I can't wait to talk about this.
I have not heard about this up until the last couple of days. Donald Trump, I know, mentioned it in a speech recently, and me and my wife were both like, the what? Apparently people got stranded on the space station like 9 months ago. I guess, to my understanding, they were only supposed to be there for like a week or 2, and then they were stranded there for 9 months. This is SpaceX that is going to, I'm going to kind of breeze through this. This is allegedly footage, very, very real, definitely not CGI footage of SpaceX and their spaceship roaming over the Earth to go to the space station that is nowhere to be seen. And we're supposed to believe that. And then the space, okay, we gotta wait on that actually. Dave, I do have to show you the space station stuff, because I just found it right before getting on the show with you today, and it's got my conspiracy antenna up. But what do you know about the space station thing so far?
All I saw was the very real, not CGI, landing that these bitches did earlier. Did you see that?
With the parachutes coming down and looking beautiful, glorious entrance. That's all you've seen? Because that's the least fake thing that I've seen on this.
Pristine water and clouds and sky and even the way that the parachutes just collapsed into the water, dude. That put my conspiracy cap on. But no, I did see that video of what I don't know what the time they have it sped up or whatever, but that just looks obviously like too fake to even tolerate.
I mean, the shuttle footage or them?
This too,
entering?
both of them. But this definitely. This is supposed to be Earth. Like, how high up are you right now? Why are you going that?
Look at that beautiful glow of the ozone layer. That's
right. Like you can see the curvature of it. Or
that's how we've been told it looks too. Yeah,
this is bullshit.
It looks very, very similar to how we've been told it looks, which is very fake. I have to bring this up. This is apparently SpaceX entering the space station and rescuing these people who have been stranded on the space station, International Space Station, where I guess we're still, collaborating with Russia. We have since before they were problematic or whatever. But, Dave, I just want you to watch the shirts, particularly right above the shoulder blades, right on the shoulders where a wire might be strapped. I don't know anything. I haven't dug into this at all. I just found this right before coming on. Just watch, especially the red guy, the guy in the red there, his shirt, all of them, their shirts. Imagine if there were wires that were green screened out, how it would look. I can't explain yet the hair, but you can do zero gravity plane drops and stuff, and NASA has done that for some of their practicing for their supposed landing missions and all that. The hair floats. The hair is a little bit confusing, but it seems like... I don't want to taint it, Dave. I don't want to taint it. Watch the shirts. Tell me if you see the wires. They're entering. Red guy comes down. That's one red guy. That guy goes up.
Onishi, the first Crew 10 astronaut through the hatch.
They're coming in.
Followed by Peskov.
Watch the backs of their shirts. This guy in blue. Watch his shirt.
Nicole Ayers, the first
the red
of
guy.
the flock.
Look at that guy's red shirt right there, Dave. What's that shirt doing? Is that how shirts wrinkle? Hold on. Go back. He comes in. His shirt all wrinkles way up tight in one particular direction, Dave.
That's weird.
And then it goes back out when he goes away. And then, oh, look at that. Why is it going up right there? You see that on his right? You see that hard point there?
Yeah.
That looks like there's a wire there to me, Dave. Look at the blue guy. He's got his shirt pulling up too in strange points. But this red guy in particular, I don't know, am I crazy, Dave? Because he goes back in, his shirt pulls up again. I don't know if it's just his shirt has got a weird wrinkle that pulls in real tight when he goes in for a hard move, but it pulls up. If I were to draw a man in space going in for a hug and drew that, it wouldn't really make sense for his shirt to be going up like that. Is that just gravity? It just pulls up the corners of your shirts in weird ways? And I haven't seen...
not doing anything. He's not doing anything that would look like it requires wire work.
Sure. Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
Sure, and that's how they get you, Dave. These guys are... It is interesting that they're all kind of on the same level, and they're all kind of floating around. You got like one or two guys floating down. Nothing to see there, but just something about his shirt that keeps wrinkling up, and it's right around where this person goes in for a hug, wraps her hands around that point. I don't know. Am I crazy, Dave? I mean, it was obvious that the first thing was fake, but clearly this thing is real, right?
Well, that's what we should really be talking about, is that if, we're living in the, I can't remember the terms, but what is it? What do you call it? The firmament? What is it?
Firmament, yeah.
What's it called? The
Under
firmament.
the dome,
That's
the
right.
firmament, yeah.
Yeah, if we're under the dome, then what the fuck are you, flying above? That's what I want to know. And yeah, everything looks like it's CGI. That totally looks like it's CGI. The landing looked like it's CGI, and NASA was founded by Nazis. That's actually true. So why do we trust those people?
If that's true, Dave, then that would mean that SpaceX, who went to get these people in this fake way for this grand accomplishment of American society, much similar to JFK, who was, assassinated, attempted assassinated, whatever. All the JFK stuff coming out. JFK was very heavily tied into the space missions and all that because he was going to get us there by the end of the 10 years and did not, and then died, and then we did. I don't know. It just seems like there's some sort of weird parallels here. As George Lucas would say, history doesn't repeat, but it fucking rhymes. And there's something weird about SpaceX being the ones, not NASA, but SpaceX, as though they're like, no, trust us. We're not the government, actually. We're a private... and I've seen a lot of right-wingers being like, none of the left-wingers are pointing out that SpaceX was the ones who saved these people from the space station, the very, very real space station. And also, after these people were only supposed to be there for like a week, and they came back 9 months later, which none of us really heard about until the 9 months later. But now that they came back, they went from like having gray hair strands in their hair to having perfectly dyed hair. And when they come back, they're like their hair is cut and everything. I don't know. Am I crazy conspiracy theorist, Dave, or am I onto something? I don't trust SpaceX. I don't trust Elon Musk. I don't trust Donald Trump. I don't trust, like, this feels all still like theater to make the right-wingers go, see, these people are to be trusted, and the left-wingers are stupid at this point. Like, the entire political zeitgeist has shifted to the extent that it's not just cool to be Republican and dumb to be Democrat. It's like, see, we're doing all the things, all the same things, but with a different branding, a different packaging. So now we can continue the same old shit and prove that they're wrong. It feels like it's trying to just secure, like, Donald Trump was actually installed all along, and he said a bunch of great things, and now we're just trying to secure everybody's thoughts about him, that he is this trustworthy guy he is the crazy conspiracy theorist who was there on 9/11 saying that it was brought down by bombs. He is this guy that we've always known, this Donald Trump guy. Trust the plan is what it still feels like to me. And I don't like it because I still, once again, wanted hope. What do you think, Dave?
Well, what you wanted was to feel better than you did before, which was during the demoralization process. So we all got that, but it's more likely that the woke shit was part of a program to demoralize us. And now you're entering, just like our boy Sean in the chat said, like a release valve. Oh my God, that was so terrible. I don't want to be embarrassed to be American. I don't want to be embarrassed to be a male. I don't want to be embarrassed to be, all the things that they demonize you for. Yeah. So anything else, who's the person who's the antithesis of that? Donald Trump? Cool, that's my team. Well, what are we doing? Whose ass are we kicking? Yep. The libs? I'm fucking down. You know what I mean? You had to be primed for that. And it feels so much better. Just like it is a release valve. So like you're more susceptible to fall for some bullshit when that
kind of like when happening. The U.S. landed on the moon the first time. It was a big,
the biggest release valve.
During the Cold War against Russia, we were in a space race against Russia and China, and we needed a win. And then we got it.
But you were going to get...
It felt good. Even if it wasn't real, it felt good. So it was a happy conspiracy. Similar to this. And the next one.
You can tell the things that are going to happen no matter what political party is in power. You know you're getting electric cars. You know you're going to space, or at least they're telling you that's happening. You know you're going to get a war with Iran. So you know that they want to do away with classical liberalism, like in the traditional form, and install a efficient technocracy. That is the plan. So of course, like that stuff's happening. Elon is a great, steward of that, and
it's a great spokesman.
Yeah, and I'm saying this as somebody who like appreciates that I'm on Twitter right now. right? Like I recognize the hypocrisy that I'm dropping, but like I'm just
Give it a minute, and we'll have Elon banning us from Twitter for hate speech. I think that's just around the corner, based on where things are headed.
Yeah, I think so too.
And Facebook will be the bastion of whatever. We'll all turn back around. Worth a note, Jeremy Boering of the Daily Wire is stepping down. I don't have
Suck it.
I don't have a ton on this, and it doesn't matter that much, but I do think it is interesting that I don't know. Let's just take this at face value. Jeremy Boering is a guy who ran the Daily Wire, co-founder with Ben Shapiro, and he called himself the lowercase God King narcissist at the least, or at least like a funny spokesman. But every single brand that he made was Jeremy's razors, Jeremy's chocolates, Jeremy's this, Jeremy's that. He didn't have a show. He was a CEO, a front-facing CEO that made a personality out of himself, and now he's stepping down. And there's a lot of speculation that there's drama going on. There's a lot of speculation that people at the Daily Wire didn't approve of him, or that he like overblew their budget with all of his quasi-Hollywood antics, attempts at making the alternate Hollywood. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on this, Dave? Do you think it's a good thing, a bad thing? And I don't know.
Obviously, it's fucking great because fuck that guy and fuck the Daily Wire. But I'm sure they'll figure it out. But I did remember reading like maybe 6 months ago that this guy he really overextended the Daily Wire on some of these like Hollywood level productions that he wanted to do, make movies, make shows and stuff like that. And he really blew it because nobody cares. We can only take so much fucking Dean Cain and Hercules, Kirk Cameron shit. You know what I mean? So that didn't work out. But I'd love to see them flailing about. And it reminds me of Diddy back in the day. Like, remember when Suge Knight was like tired of the producer, all up in the videos, all up in the song, dancing. Like, you're right. Like, this guy doesn't have a show. But he's got to put his name on everything and make it about him. That's it's good to see him go. But fuck Ben Shapiro too. I hope the whole thing goes down. That they suck.
Yeah, I don't know. There's been a lot of controversy around the Daily Wire as of late. Be it a year ago, them axing Candace Owens for having a stance on Israel, or them axing Brett Cooper for having, I don't even know what stance, but and then replacing her with her best friend / producer and all that. And now the strangest thing about this is that they're saying that Jeremy Boering, who has been like the front-facing guy, the Daily Wire's statement is basically like he's stepping down to pursue a creative role, and we wish him the best in his like we hope the best for him in whatever he decides to do, his endeavors or whatever. It's like, it sounds like you're letting him go, but not letting him go. It sounds like this wasn't necessarily his decision, or at the very least, you don't know what the plan is for him. You just know that he can't be the CEO anymore, or somebody knows that he can't be the CEO anymore. If it was like, well, it makes more business sense for him to move over here and just focus on the Pendragon cycle or these crazy Hollywood endeavors that he has in mind, the trans sports ball movies or whatever the fuck. If it made more sense business-wise to shift him over to a creative director role, they would say that, I would think, because that would seem less like, we don't know what we're doing or what to do with it. And, I mean, it's been the theme with a lot of these bigwig conservative channels over the last year, be it Crowder or Tim Pool or the Daily Wire. Like, everybody, for whatever value they bring, there's a lot of drama around them, and nobody seems to like each other that much. So it's a little bit like lifting the veil on on how some of this stuff works, which we've talked about on the show before. It's kind of good to be like, well, life isn't all like just this glossy, there's the left, and then there's the Daily Wire who's fighting the left, and everybody's great and in agreement and working their shit out as the opposition. Trouble in paradise, and it seems like, be it Disney or the Daily Wire, nobody knows what the future holds, which fills me with a little bit of joy that all of the bigwig corporatists and all the ideological like movers and shakers that are making money off of their artistic moving and shaking are showing their hand that they don't really know what they're doing. I guess that only leaves me hope, because we don't know what the future holds, and anything that we're doing or can do, or anything that anybody can do, if they are innovative, can rise to that level, and if they know what they're doing, they might last even longer. The future is still up for grabs, I suppose.
I like that.
Yeah. Anyway, let's leave. We've been going too long, and nobody's here, and it's fine. So this is going to be what the show's going to be for a while.
He needs an audience, everybody. Sign up. 5 smackers.
Clearly, I don't need an audience. We went for longer than we've been going without an audience, with only the few people that have tuned in. But thank you for tuning in. And if you want to be a part of the live chat, we will do our, we will make more of an effort to read more of your chats as we know it is people who support the show financially. We thank you so much for your time, your consideration, and your pledge of many, many dollars, like $1 to $5 a month. Thank you all for being here. Dave, you got any final thoughts before we go our merry ways?
We did cover a lot today. I'm probably not going to see Snow White. Harry Sisson can suck it. He's still a fag. But the Trump stuff really has me pondering a lot. Need to meditate on that. But yeah, man, still just so grateful to talk it out with you and the 4 people that paid to be here tonight.
Wow.
Yo, send Dan Smotz 5 smackers. That's the moral of the story. That's what I want to wrap this bow in. Sign up for the show and support independent journalists and media creators and people who tell the truth.
To you living in the future, yes, we did set the stage for us doing weekly at 5 p.m. live. We set that stage for the last month or so, and then we pulled the rug a lot like Donald Trump did. But the difference is it's still happening. You're just too cheap to come over here and pay for it. So come over here, patreon.com/The System Is Down, and pay for it, because, that'll help. That'll help a lot in keeping this thing growing and going and getting bigger and better and more beautiful every week, and Dave's beautiful face coming back every week. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for hanging out. We will see you guys at least next week, if not sooner. Until then, go out, question everything, stay uncomfortable, keep an eye on Harry Sisson, because I'm pretty sure he's gay. But the powers that be would have you think otherwise. Come here, tune in for the very crucial information and details and fact-finding on whether or not Harry Sisson is in fact, indeed, out of the closet or remains a corporate shill faggot. We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for watching. Smash all the like and subscribe buttons, because that's what we say at the end of videos. Good night, everybody.
This concludes our broadcast day.